the most exciting feature of MEG, well, it's really that, without getting into the details of the science, it effectively is recording brain activity at the speed of thought. There are a number of technologies that are used in the medical field. Some that people would have heard of, and some not. So CAT scan, everybody's heard of. That's really where you're shooting X-rays through a body, and you're using a computerized approach to reconstruct those images. Or into an image. So it's very common technique. It's been around for a long time, but again, you're exposing a body to radiation. MRI is a technology that everybody has probably heard of at one time or another, and that's really you're putting your body inside of a magnetic field. It's aligning all of the atoms or your nuclei of the atoms in a certain manner, and it's resonating them with a pulse, and it actually reconstructs those into an image. So the way fMRI works, I'll just, again, my default neuron here. So if this is blood flow coming into a neuron, and this is a very simplistic, non-technical description, obviously. If this is blood going into that neuron, and let's say it's got a certain amount of oxygen in that blood, and we know neurons use oxygen as fuel. So if there's blood going into the neuron with a certain amount of oxygen, and then there's blood coming out of the neuron, and it's got less oxygen in that blood, through a detection technology, you will infer that that neuron is active because there's less oxygenated blood going out than there is coming in. So it's an indirect measure. Another technology is PET, or positron emission tomography, and that is where you would inject a radioactive isotope into a patient and attach it to a molecule that goes to different parts of the body. And once that molecule gets to a place in the body, it'll emit that isotope, and you can detect where there's a concentration. So those are three common technologies that are in the medical field. Our technology is MEG, or magnetoencephalography, and it's a technology I'm very excited about. Effectively, when two neurons, I'll say these are two neurons, and they're attached with a synapse. When these two neurons speak to one another, it effectively creates a bioelectric impulse. And we know from high school physics that at the same time that a bioelectric impulse occurs, a magnetic field is created. And through superconducting quantum interference devices, or SQUIDs, we're able to detect those magnetic fields and localize them in the brain where they're occurring. So our technology can actually detect functional brain activity virtually at the speed of thought. And that's why we're so excited about this technology. It's why we're so excited about our MEG technology, because again, the brain works in a complex network where there's all sorts of neurons in different parts of your brain that are firing at any one given time. And because we're able to capture that, if that's that bioelectric impulse, because we can capture that magnetic signature at the exact same time that that impulse is occurring, we can record brain activity and functional brain activity with a resolution that's so much superior. And so we're really excited about that, because the more resolution you have and the more data that you can capture as a brain is functioning, the more data we've got and the more information that we can utilize for diagnostic purposes.